Yo, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to Light Talks Football and welcome to another episode of Premier League predictions. Boy, we had games on the weekend and now we have games this week. It's been absolutely crazy, but guess what, people? Yeah, not only that, but the start of this year, 2026, has also been mental. We have seen three managers being sacked already. 1st of January, Enzo Maresca. Now, yesterday, Ruben Amorim being sacked. And also, the Celtic manager, let me just try if I can pronounce his name correct. 1 second. Yeah, Wilfred Nancy has been sacked by Celtic after taking after being a job just 32 days. 32. I mean, this year has been mental. Like three managers sacked, in the UK. It's mental, man. It's mental. But yeah, both Wilfred Nancy and then Ruben Amorim have been sacked. On the same day. So Gary O'Neill looks like he's going to be the interim manager for Celtic until the end of the season. And then I'm hearing that Darren Fletcher, not the commentator one, but Darren Fletcher, is going to be the caretaker manager for only the Burnley game. And there's potential that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might be back for Manchester United. It's absolutely crazy right now. So yeah, three managers sacked in the UK, both in England and Scotland. It's been a crazy start for 2026. And also, I just remembered both not Ollie, both Enzo Maresca and Ruben Amorim have been the manager of the month both in October and November, and now they've gone. So the question is, who else is going to be gone? Would it be a Olivia Glasner? Because if I take a look at the let me just take a look at the Premier League manager of the month. Let me just take a look at the past ones this year. Um, sorry. If I take a look at it, let's see. I don't know if they've got the yeah, there we go. So look at this. If I look at this, yeah, so far, Arne Slot was the manager of the month, yeah, in August, yeah. Olivia Glasner, September 2025, you know. So can we see another manager of the month potentially Arne Slot leaving? This season, like it will be absolutely crazy. Like three managers who have been the manager of the month so far this season to be gone, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, but yeah, it's been a crazy start for 2026, and we'll see how it goes on for the rest of this year. So it's as simple as that. But yeah, three managers sacked. So yeah, so Callum is going to be the is going to manage the Fulham game because Olivia Glasner just signed for Chelsea today. So I wish Liam was senior and also my good friend Matisse Amari the best of luck because Matisse definitely does look like him a bit and both of them do wear glasses as well. So and listen, I wish him the best luck because he's black as well. And I'm also black, as you can see here. And let's see and let's hope that he can do well for Chelsea because I want to see black people do well in the Premier League. You know what I mean? I really do. I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm just trying to give Liam Wiseau the best of luck here. You know what I mean? So there we go. But yeah, he's gonna be. So yeah, Callum will be be at the Fulham game. Down Fletcher will be at the Burnley game to be the into Kel K interim manager or caretaker manager for that game. So we'll see. So could Arne Slot be the next manager to be sacked? We shall wait and see. But yeah, it's been a crazy start to 2026, man. It's been absolutely crazy. But enough of that waffling, enough of that information. Let's move on into Premier predictions for game week number 21. So there's 17 games to go until the end of this season. So make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification as well. And yeah, big up to all of you that have been subscribing and liking the previous videos and live streams, and you're on the road to 1K as usual. So if you guys can help me to get that this year, then that would be epic. So make sure so if you guys can do that for me, then that would be great. So first things first, let's move on into today's game, which is the only game, by the way. And that game today is West Ham United versus Forest. And by the way, I'd like to say, yeah, the scheduling, for the festive period have been an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. You look at this, people, yeah? There's only one game on Tuesday. One. And that is, team, and it's basically 17th versus 18th versus 17th. They've only put that for today. Then look at this. On Wednesday's games, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games on Wednesday. 8, including, four out of the big six teams playing on a Wednesday. And then look at this, on a Thursday, only one game, which of course that's the game of the weekend, the big game. Also for his Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium. That's on a Thursday. So the fact that they only put one game today and then 8 games on a Wednesday, which is tomorrow, is an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. So the Premier League next season needs to do way better for the scheduling. Way better, because this is a joke. It's an absolute joke. You know what I mean? So yeah, so only one game today, and that is West Ham versus Forest. And both teams did lose, but my goodness me, West Ham United. West Ham, they've lost 3-0 away to Wolves. 3-0. And like I said, you'd think in that game that Wolves are gonna win that game, but I said there's no chance. Like, West Ham have to win this game because they know if they want to be out of the relegation zone, they need to hope and pray that Villa beat Forest and they beat Wolves. So listen, Villa beat Forest, 3-1, which I got that spot on. But West Ham, boy, like, I know that Forest fans will be happy and laughing at West Ham for losing that game, because I did say to you lot that Wolves will win the Premier League. They will. I don't know when, but they will do someday. But the fact that West Ham gave Wolves their first win ever in the Premier League this season, I mean, listen, if West Ham do not win this game, because if I'm looking at the table right now, if I look at the Premier League table, 1 second, West Ham are 4 points behind Forest. 4 points. And they are 8 points by Leeds United. 8. West Ham have to win this game. They really have to. Because if Forest beat West Ham, for me, West Ham could potentially be relegated. They could potentially. And the reason why I say potentially is because there's 17 games to go to. And if West Ham continue to lose games, and then if Forest continue to win games, then yeah, West Ham would definitely be relegated. So there's potential it could happen. But this is a must-win game for West Ham because they're at home. They are at home, They cannot afford to lose this one. They really can't. Anyhow they do, then for me, seeing them in the Premier League for a long time is going to be over. And for me, yeah, I don't want to see West Ham relegated because I have good friends, the likes of Thomas O'Neill and Sonny Scott, who are West Ham fans, and they're a really good friend to me. And it would be painful to see both my friends, sad and heartbroken and angry that their team are relegated. I do not, and for me, I have no friends who are Forest fans. I really don't. I have friends who are Arsenal fans, Man City fans, Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham fans as well, and West Ham fans. Those are the only friends who I know of. That's it. That is it. The rest of them I do not know. I really do not know. No disrespect to them. So that's why for me, actually I do know a Newcastle fan, and that is Kendall, and that's basically it. But other than that, that's it. So if I see West Ham be relegated, obviously the people I don't know will laugh at them. But my friends, yeah, I'll feel sorry for them and I'll feel their pain, because West Ham should not be relegated. like I said, it's not too long ago they won they won the European competition. And I wanna and for me, yeah, if West Ham do get relegated, I'll ask Nicky Hawkins, I'll ask Sonny Scott, and I'll ask Thomas O'Neill. Do you think that getting rid of David Moyes was the correct decision? If let's say West Ham do get relegated, I'll ask my friends and we'll see what their answer is at the end of the season if they do get relegated. Because if that happens here, I think getting rid of David Moyes was the wrong decision. Because look at Everton. They are 40 points above the relegation and they're close and they're 6 points behind no, they're actually 3 points behind European places. You know what I mean? That should be where West Ham should try to do, get European places, but now they're buying it up for the relegation zone. Like it's absolutely um um just awful, man. Really is awful for West Ham. So they got to win this game. The question is, can they? And I'm thinking no, because Forest themselves want to win this game. They so that they will not be, close to 18th, And if let's say that Forest do win and Leeds United lose the next game, that Forest could close the gap on not on Leeds United. You know what I mean? So for me, if anybody needs to win this game is West Ham. It's as simple as that. But for me, every time I try to predict West Ham are going to win, they don't seem to do it. So sorry, West Ham fans. I tried to back you, but you failed. You failed. So for the first time this year, I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go for 1-1 because I don't see either Forest or West Ham winning this game. You know, like if Forest win, for me, West Ham, like I said, potentially be relegated. But if West Ham win, I wouldn't be surprised because they're at home. It's the London Stadium. 60,000 fans at that stadium. 60,000 fans will be in that stadium. Well, to be precise, 57,000 West Ham fans and 3,000 Forest fans will be at that stadium. And it's one of the biggest stadiums in London. If I need to do the ranking, um, Tottenham in first, Arsenal in second, West Ham third, and Chelsea fourth. If I have to do that ranking in London, you know what I mean. So West Ham are in third place in terms of the biggest stadium in London. Because Tottenham have about 62,000 fans, Arsenal about 60,000, 300 something, West Ham 60,000 exactly. So the fact that the biggest stadium in London could potentially be relegated this season is just a joke. It really is a joke. So to me, West Ham have to win this game, and if they don't, for me, it's over for them. I'm sorry to say this, but it's over. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna go for draw at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna go for draw. So goal scorers, Jared Bowen for Forest, Callum Hudson-Odoi, or maybe Gibbs White, Morgan Gibbs White to scores. Yeah, 1-1. Like for me, if West Ham do not win this game, they are in big trouble, so much trouble. You know what I mean? So that's the only game today, which, like I said, is an absolute disgrace. But yeah, 1-1. The next game is Bournemouth versus Tottenham. Of course, Bournemouth lost at home to Arsenal. For Tottenham, once again, cannot find to seem to win. And I've saw a stat that says Tottenham have only won 3 of the last 11 games in all competitions, which is absolutely crazy right now. And looking at Tottenham, they're in 13th. They're on the same points as Crystal Palace. Same points. And look at that. Bournemouth are 4 points behind them. So if Bournemouth win, they'll be 1 point behind Tottenham. 1 point. Like, it's absolutely crazy right now. So, listen, I think for me it's going to be a draw. I do not see Bournemouth winning this game because whenever I think that Bournemouth are going to win, they don't. And also, Tottenham are good away from home. They really are. I think Tottenham have only lost one game away from home this season, if I'm not mistaken. And that's only Arsenal. I can't think of anything else that they lost to away from home. Let me just have a look. If I take a look at Tottenham's away from home this season, I think they've only lost one, and that is Arsenal. Let me just see their recent away game. Let me just see. So, yeah, they drew to Brentford away. They beat Palace. Actually, oh no, they did lose to Forest as well. So yeah, that's only 2 games they lost away from home. So that is it. So that's why I think for me it's going to be a draw because, like I said, Bournemouth no wins in 10 in the Premier League. For Tottenham, they've only lost 2 games away from home. So there you go. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw on this one. I'm gonna go for 2-2 because because yeah, Bournemouth man, like I don't know what's going on. They sort of season off really good, but then the fact they're are in 15th place still is crazy. And they had so many opportunities. I watched the Arsenal game, and there's so many mad chances to potentially get a draw and to win this game, but they couldn't. They really couldn't. So let's see what they can do at home against another North London club, which is Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw. The goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Justin Kluivert and Semenyo. For Tottenham, I'm gonna go for with Charlison and Bentancur to score. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw. I don't see either team. If I were to predict one team to win, and that is Tottenham, because like I said, they've only lost 2 games away from home. Tottenham this season are better away from home, away than they do at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? See, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw in that game tomorrow, and then the next game is Brentford versus Sunderland, of course. Sunderland, like I mentioned, drew 1-1. For Brentford, they drew nil. Wait, did they? No, actually, no, they beat Everton away from home 4-2. And Igor Jesus scored a hat trick. Wait, is he the top scorer? No, actually, still earning Holland, but I think let me just take a look. Yeah, Igor Thiago. Look at that. He's scored 14 Premier League goals this season. He's now 5 goals away from equaling Erling Haaland. I watched some games saying the race for the Golden Boot. I don't think Igor Thiago's going to win that Golden Boot because there's still a long way to go. It's going to be Erling Haaland. But let's say that if Igor Thiago gets the Golden Boot, then it's deserved because I didn't think for 1 second that nobody's going to catch up to Erling Haaland. Nobody. But it looks like Igor Thiago's doing a really good job. He really is. But up against Sunderland, who still got draws ever since the players went to AFCON. So maybe a few of them will come back, but not a lot. So this is going to be very interesting. Oops, excuse me. It's going to be a very interesting game because it's at the G2 Community Stadium. Brentford still only lost 1 game there. But for Sunderland though, they're doing a really good job. Doing a really good job. And if I look at the table right now, they are in 8th place on 30 points. 30 points. Like Sunderland, if they make it to Europe this season, for me, that manager who I keep on forgetting should be the manager of the season because nobody, including myself, ever thought that Sunderland will be in the top 10, let alone, potentially be relegated. So Sunderland's doing a really good job. So listen, so far I predicted draws, and I think there's going to be another draw. I'm going to go for 1-1. I'm gonna go for 1-1 because that is exactly what I said for the Tottenham Sunderland game. I got that correct. So hopefully that game I can also get 3 points. Yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1. Brentford goal scorer, I'm gonna go for Igor Jesus. For Sunderland, I'm gonna go for either Bowie or Granit Xhaka or who else. But so yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1 in that one. While the next game is Crystal Palace versus Villa. Of course, Villa bounced back, 3-1 win against what do you call it? Against Forest. But for Palace though, my goodness me, what's their last game? I think they lost. Um, what was their last game? I keep on forgetting. Yeah, Palace's last game was a 2-0 defeat away to Newcastle. Like, I don't know what is going on with Palace right now, but look at their form, you know, 4 defeats in the last 5 games in the Premier League, and they're in 14th. They're in 14th. But but either way, Palace on the same points as Tottenham, you know. So Palace, but the crazy thing is, people, the difference between fifth to 14th is 4 points. 4 points separates the team from fifth to 14th, and this just shows you that the league is absolutely crap. Because the fact that you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The fact that there's 10 teams that could challenge to get Europe this season is absolutely crazy. So this is going to be very interesting. But Palace, though, I don't know what's going on with them. But for Villa, though, they're 6 points behind Arsenal. And guess what? They're on the same points as Manchester City, same points. And if you look at the stats here, both Man City and Villa have won 13 games, drawn 3, and lost 4. It's absolutely crazy. So for me, yeah, I think Villa is going to win this game. I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1 because, and funnily enough, yeah, Palace went away to Villa and beat them 3-0. So let's see if Villa can go away to Palace and beat them. Villa certainly want revenge, and I think that's going to happen. So yeah, 2-1 to Villa. And Ollie Watkins is starting to, starting to score goals. Like, I believe he scored like 4 goals in the last 4 games in the Premier League. So Ollie Watkins starting to pick up. So let's see if we can continue with that one. But yeah, the goal scorers, I'm going to go for Jonathan Mateta for Palace. And I'm going to go Ollie Watkins and Emi Buendia to score for Aston Villa. So yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1. I am going to go for a 2-1 Aston Villa win. They're going to cause more misery on Palace. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, 2-1 to Villa. While the next game is Everton versus Wolves. Of course, Everton did lose, but Wolves finally get their first win of the season. Now you would think here that win against West Ham is going to give them confidence. I do not think so because I think Wolves are going to go back to losing games. And they win a few, but they are going to go back because Everton, by the way, their results at the Hildeken Stadium have been a bit concerned. They lost against Arsenal. They Brentford put 4 past them. I remember Newcastle did the same. I think Tottenham went there and beat them 3-0. So Hildeken Stadium is starting to have a bit of concern. But listen, I think Everton will bounce back because they know they cannot let Wolves get back-to-back wins in the Premier League. They simply can't. They simply can't. I heard a few people backing Wolves, to do something, but no, not for me. Not for me, because it's at the Hildesheim Stadium. It's still a very difficult place to go to. It was, but not anymore. But I think Everton will bounce back. They will bounce back. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Everton win. They'll definitely bounce back. Let's see if Wolves can put the same tactics as they did against West Ham. Let's just see. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Everton will win this game. So I'm gonna go for 2-0. The goal scores, I'm gonna go for Jack Grealish and Beto to score. So yeah, 2-0 Everton. I think they'll bounce back and they'll get themselves back to 3 points. So there we go. Right, the next game is a West London derby, Fulham versus Chelsea, of course. Fulham, in fact, both teams drew. Fulham drew 2-2 against Liverpool. Chelsea, they drew 1-1 to Man City. So, yeah, for this game, Chelsea have to win. Chelsea have to win because Chelsea have not won a game in the Premier League over the last 4 years. And it's getting close to a month here where Chelsea got to win in the Premier League. So Chelsea have to win this game because I was happy, that we go and sort against City because I didn't think that would happen. But if we don't beat Fulham, then what's the point? What's the point of me being happy against Man City to get a draw and we end up joining against Fulham? You know what I mean? Because last season we beat them, and it's been a long time since Chelsea haven't got and did the double for Fulham. So can this be the season we can do it? I think we can, and I'm hoping that we will. So yeah, for this game, I'm gonna bet my boys to win 2-1. It's gonna be a very difficult game. Craven Cottage is a very difficult place to go to, but I'm gonna bet my boys because Chelsea, if my memory serves correctly, we've only lost there only once, and that was under Graham Potter. So Chelsea do have a good record at Craven Cottage. We really do. You know what I mean? So that's what about my boys to win 2-1. A goal scorer for Fulham, Harry Wilson, because he's on a good form. For Chelsea, I'm gonna go for Enzo Fernandez and maybe João Pedro or maybe Estevao. So yeah, 2-1 Chelsea's gonna be my prediction. I'm gonna back my boys, and let's see if Callum can have another masterclass in that game. So yeah, 2-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea. I back my boys to win. And then the next game is Man City versus Brighton, of course. Man City, like I mentioned, drew 1-1, but for Brighton, they won 2-0 against Burnley. Now, Man City have to win this game. They have to win this game because they will know if they have any chance of closing the gap on Arsenal and potentially winning the league, then they have to win. They have to win. Now, I'm hearing that Garfield is injured and also Ruben Diaz will be out for 6 weeks. So, Man City need to bring some signings if they want to close the gap on Arsenal. They really have to. But for Brighton though, sometimes away from home Brighton are good, but there's many times where they lose and or draw or lose games. So for me, this game, even though Brighton can do something, um, I feel like Man City are going to win this game because it's at home. And let's not forget that Brighton did beat Man City at the Amex. So Man City will definitely want revenge. You know, they certainly do want revenge. So I'm going to go for 2-1. And if I remember correctly, I think Man City have only lost once at the Etihad, and that was to Tottenham. I think that might be. I can't think of any other team that's gone to the Etihad that won other than Tottenham. So but yeah, I'm gonna go for 2 on Man City. They'll bounce back. They'll bounce back, and they need to. Otherwise, the chance of them winning the title is more likely to be done. You know, if Arsenal beat Liverpool, which I'll get to in just a minute. But yeah, 2-1 Man City. Goal scores. I'm gonna go for Haaland and Ryan Cherky. For Brighton, I'm gonna go for Danny Welbeck. So yeah, 2-1 to Man City is going to be my prediction for that game tomorrow. Then the next game is Burnley versus Manchester United, of course. Man United have sacked Ruben Amorim today, so it looks like Darren Fletcher will be managing that game against Burnley. But Burnley themselves, boy, you know, haven't got to win since that game against Sunderland. So it's been a very long time. So yeah, Burnley who lost away to Brighton, you know, so yeah, 2-0 in that one. Yeah, so listen, Man United, you know, do have a good record at Turf Moor, but if Burnley beat Man United, then Man United fans have got to be concerned because you're trying to get into the Champions League, get back into the Champions League, and you know, yeah, that you have to win. You have to win because look at the table right now. Liverpool, both Chelsea and Man United are behind Liverpool, both of them, and both Man United and Liverpool have got the same goal difference. Now, if Chelsea and Man United win, and depending on the goal difference, they go above Liverpool. So Man United have to win this game if they want to be back in the Champions League. Because anyhow, because whenever my other teams, the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea, drop points, Man United don't take advantage. You know, so let's say that both Chelsea and Man United drop points, then Man United have to take the advantage. They really have to. So for this game, I think Man United will win, but it ain't going to be that easy because Burnley are fighting for their lives. Because looking at the table, yeah, Burnley right now are 6 points behind Nottingham Forest, you know. So they know that they have a chance of staying up. And the only way for them to do that is that if they win, you know, a few games and Forest and West Ham drop points, you know what I mean? So Burnley still have a chance of staying up. And they have to win games because they keep losing, then for me they get to relegated. So Burnley do have a chance. So but I don't think any way, shape or form they're gonna be beaten Man United. I really don't think so. So yeah, I'm going to go for 1-0 Man United. And the only goal scorer is going to be Patrick Dogu. And that's basically it. So yeah, 1-0 Man United. And they'll keep a clean sheet as well. Because whenever Man United go to Turf Moor, they usually get a 1-0 win. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm gonna go for the same result as always, 1-0 to Man United. And then the next game, boy, this is going to be a very interesting game. Newcastle versus Leeds United. Of course, Newcastle beat what you call it? They beat Crystal Palace 2-0. Leeds United, they were at home against Man United and they drew 1-1. So this is going to be a very interesting game, because Leeds United are unbeaten last 7 games. Seven, ever since that 3-1 win against Chelsea. So Daniel Farke is doing a really good job. And I tell you what, if Leeds United do stay up, then I've got to make an apology because I said at the beginning of the season that the reason why I think Leeds United will be relegated is not themselves, is because of Daniel Farke because has a very bad record, in the Premier League for Norwich City, very bad record. So, but listen, ever since that 3-5-2, Leeds United have been unbeaten, and they're starting to pick up points. So this is going to be a very interesting game. So the question is, can Newcastle, end Leeds United unbeaten one, or can Leeds, get a result at St James Park? We shall wait and see. But this game, I feel like Newcastle could win, but this game screams for a draw. It really screams for a draw because Leeds United have been really good ever since they went to this 3-5-2. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't think Leeds United will go to Newcastle and win because St James Park is a very, very difficult place to go to. It really is. But if Newcastle win, I wouldn't be surprised because it's at St James Park. But if Leeds do win, then I'll be very surprised. Very surprised. But yeah, that's what this game is going to go for. And that's why this game, for me, I'm predicting a 1-1 draw. Goal scorer, I'm going to go for either Motamada or what do you call it? Or Anthony Gordon to score for Leeds United, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and unfortunately, he's not going to be breaking, Jamie Vardy's record because that record ended in a game against Liverpool. So there we go. See, I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. That's going to be a very, very interesting game in that one. See, I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. And then the only game on Thursday, which of course the big game, is Arsenal versus Liverpool. Of course, Arsenal just about beat Bournemouth away by 3 goals to 2. But for Liverpool, it's another draw for them. They drew 2-2 against Fulham. Now, Liverpool, in the past couple of seasons had a good result at the Emirates Stadium, but I believe ever since that 2-0 win at the Emirates Stadium in 2022, Liverpool in the last 3 visits at the Emirates Stadium, excluding that FA Cup, have not won. They lost 2-1. I believe they lost 3-1 as well. And then last season they drew 2-2. So Liverpool do not have a good record at the Emirates Stadium at all. So yeah, so for this game, if you're a Liverpool fan, you can be confident, but you've got to feel nervous because your team is not doing well this season, and the money that you spend, and the fact that you're in the top 4 race, is not good as well. And I understand why a few fans want Andre Slot out. £500,000, £500 million, and the fact that we're in the top 4 race rather than the title race makes no sense. It really isn't. So for me, in this game, I heard people say that Arsenal going to batter Liverpool. I do not see the case. I really do not. I heard people say, oh, 5-0, 4-1. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I believe Arsenal will win. And I think they're not going to win comfortably. But I feel like they might just squeeze the 3 points because we don't know what Liverpool is going to turn up. Will they turn up the way they did at Anfield, or they turn up like we saw ever since that defeat against Crystal Palace? So we have to wait and see. But overall, it's at the Emirates Stadium, and I believe Arsenal will win, and they have to win because if Arsenal drop points in that game and Man City to win, then boy, Arsenal fans will feel nervous again. So Arsenal have to win to put Man City more and potentially Villa under more pressure. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1. Goal scorers, Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus. For Liverpool, I'm gonna go for Hugo Ekitike. So yeah, 2-1 to Arsenal. They will win that game, and they have to. They really have to because Liverpool right now have been absolutely terrible this season. Absolutely terrible. So yeah, 2-1 to Arsenal. And that is it. That's all my Premier predictions. So let me go for the one more time. So today's game, the only game, I've gone for 1-1 draw between West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Then 8 games on a Wednesday. I've gone for a 2-2 draw between Bournemouth and Tottenham. A 1-1 draw between Brentford and Sunderland. Then a 2-1 Villa win against Palace. A 2-0 Everton win against Wolves. A 2-1 Chelsea win against Fulham. A 2-1 Man City win against Brighton. A 1-0 Burnley, Man United win against Burnley, then a 1-1 draw between Newcastle and Leeds United, and then a 2-1 Arsenal win against Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium. So that is all my Premier predictions for game week number 21. And since that's the end of the Premier predictions, that is the end of this video. So I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget, if you guys got your predictions, then do let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I want to appreciate all of you that have liked and subscribed over the last few years. You know, it's been a great start for 2026 for me. And like I say, if I can keep, and if you guys can keep on subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, hit the notification as well, then that would be absolutely amazing. And like I said, on the road to 1K as always. So hopefully I able to achieve that as this year goes on. So yeah, 6 days already to 2026, which is absolutely crazy. So let's hope we get to 1K as soon as possible. So make sure you guys are keep on subscribing if you are new to this channel. But anyway, people, enjoy the rest of your games. Let's see how the Arsenal Liverpool game turns out on Thursday. Let's see how Chelsea and Man United can handle without their permanent manager. And let's see if both Aston Villa and Manchester City can put more pressure on Arsenal. So there we go. So like I said, the fact that there's only one game today and only one game on Thursday, the scheduling in the Premier League this season has been an absolute disgrace. So the Premier League, you got to do better next season. You really got to in terms of scheduling. I know that's not because it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. So there we go. But anyway, people, enjoy this week, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And yeah, love, peace. I'm out of here.